Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had the hellish Todoroki family, though I don't think that's really going to factor into what we're doing today. Today, I'm going to be watching My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, the second My Hero Academia movie, which I believe came out sometime during Season 4, but takes place close to the end of Season 5. However, from what I can tell, I think I am good on spoilers. I don't think there's going to be anything too major in here. Because I think this movie is about Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki doing the work study with Endeavor. And then, I don't know, hijinks, I guess. So, I am good on that. We are in the middle of the Endeavor agency arc. There may be a few minor things that technically I will be shown here first before they are properly introduced into the series, but I blame whoever decided to release this movie in Season 4, but make it take place during Season 5. So, yeah. Anyway, movies. Isn't that great? We haven't done a movie reaction. Well, the last movie reaction I did was the Sailor Moon movies, but it's been quite a while since we did Two Heroes, actually. So, yeah, but we're all here. I've got, as always, I've got my All Might figure and my Shigaraki hand mask. Who knows, maybe Shigaraki will show up in this one. I don't know. And I've also decided to put on my UA gym hoodie, so yes, it is hot in here because I am still, well, I guess not in the middle of summer, it's September, but it is warm in here. But I decided, you know what, it's a movie, I better look the part. So last movie we wore the Deku hoodie that's hanging up over here, so I decided to wear the UA hoodie this time around. But yeah, I really don't know too much about this movie, again, other than just it takes place around now in the Endeavor agency arc, and there may be the most minor of spoilers for upcoming episodes, maybe. And I do know the villain. I don't really know anything about him, but I know that he's voiced by Johnny Yong Bosch. And that's just awesome because I love that man. He's amazing as Jonathan Joestar and Artemis and Albert in The Count of Monte Cristo. So I love Johnny Yong Bosch, so I am all for him being the villain in this. I think that's really cool. So yeah, like always, this is going to be a reaction of the English dub of My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. But you probably already figured that. It's in the title, and that's pretty much how I've been watching this entire series. So yeah. Because it is a movie reaction, well, it's a movie reaction, but like always, there is a full-length reaction. So if you want to go watch my full unedited reaction, all you have to do is head down in the description or into the pinned comment, and that will take you over to my Patreon page, where if you are a $5 patron, you can watch the full length. And because it's an anime reaction, obviously, once again, the reaction is not going to be hosted in this video. So, if you want to go check out my reaction to My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, Heroes Rising, okay, here's a problem, right off the bat, all these titles sound the same. 2 Heroes, Heroes Rising, I know the third one's called World Heroes Mission. Come up with better titles, people. Anywho. But yeah, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So you can go watch the edited reaction or the full-length reaction if you want. And when you're done with that, I do highly encourage you to come back here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So with that all said, let's go ahead and jump right into, finally, My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. Here we go. Alrighty. Oh man, that was Heroes Rising. You know, boy, I gotta say, that lived up to the hype, because, I mean, let's face it, this came out in the middle of Season 4, which I don't even think I was caught, I wasn't close to where the anime was when that came out, and I've been waiting so long. I was like, oh, maybe, come on, when are we gonna do this, when can I do this? So to finally be able to watch that. Oh, that was really good. That was really, really good. I don't know. I don't know where I would place this in terms of, like, how I would rank this movie with Two Heroes, but that was really good. Okay, one thing right off the bat, let's go ahead and start with this. First thing off the bat that this movie has over the last movie is all of Class 1A. And that was something that I think the last movie was lacking. It was a very small team, you know? And yes, at the end, we had All Might and Midoriya facing off against Wolfram. And then we also had to bring in Melissa Shield and David Shield and all that stuff. So I get it, but that was one thing I was kind of missing from last movie. Was like, you know, probably like half of the class wasn't there, you know? So, right off the bat, I was glad that all of Class 1A is featured in this movie. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that was something else. Okay. I took down a ton of notes, so I don't remember how many notes I took last movie, but we have a ton to get through, so let's just go ahead and get onto it. First off, we had chasing down the League, which was interesting. So the League who was transporting Nine, and after the experiments that he got, which was interesting. And that was a good chase. You know, we got to see Lock again, which was pretty cool. We got a couple of the other heroes. But then, ending it with Endeavor. Endeavor with a prominence burn. That was crazy, you know? Like, that was pretty interesting. And man, I have to say, if you watched this, I don't know when the English dub came out, but if you saw this before the end of Season 4, you're looking at Endeavor like, what the hell? What happened to his face? You know? So that's pretty interesting. Again, it's just so strange that it's like, I heard something like the director wanted to set this movie in winter. So in order to do that, they were like, well, that means it has to take place just before, basically, the Endeavor Agency arc. Which seems weird. Well, it also seems weird because Naboo Island, that was one of the, you know, southern, almost tropical islands of Japan, you know? Like, in the south of Japan, I know it's a bit more subtropical rather than the colder north, so you weren't really in the winter. I don't know. It's just very odd, the timing of when this movie came out to when the anime came out, because this takes place, again, smack in the middle of Season 5, when we weren't really there yet, you know? So yes, we have the UA Hero Agency on Naboo Island, which is interesting. So very interesting, an interesting idea. I can kind of understand this with what they were doing with the work studies in Season 5, because the thing with the work studies, you know, is that they're preparing for the Meta Liberation Army being led, I guess, by Tomura Shigaraki. So they're preparing for this big war, so they're like, okay, we need every Hero Corps student to be at a work study now. And so that's the whole thing, you know, and after, you know, realizing that, Endeavor is now going full force in training Todoroki, Deku, and Bakugo. So that's the thing, you know. So I can kind of understand this as another sort of way, like they're kind of easing them into that. Like this is before, like they haven't finalized, you know, all the plans for the work studies. So in the meantime, they're just having UA students at Naboo Island. Just Class 1A. I would assume though that I assume though that other Hero Course classes are at different islands, you know? I would imagine that. But yeah, Naboo Island, which a very interesting setting, definitely. This sort of rural Japan, which is very interesting. And again, I sort of said this in the reaction, but literally last night, I was watching something about the southern part of Japan and the more rural, smaller towns and stuff like that. So then jumping right into this is actually very interesting to see. So I did really like that. And yeah, just this island where, there's really only the smallest of crimes, and the hero, they had one hero, but then he got old and retired. So, I like the whole thing of Bakugo. Bakugo's not really going out and doing anything, but I actually do like his reasoning, even though he's not 100% right about this, that he's holding down the office, basically. So if there is a big villain attack, he'll be there, and he can, he'll get the call, basically. Granted, that's just him, making an excuse, but it's not a bad excuse, honestly. So I like that. And then we get Nine. Nine, who joined the League of Villains. Okay, so presumably Nine's original quirk is the lightning. Presumably, his original quirk is the lightning. And because that's the first thing he uses when he gets the cell activation quirk, which is interesting. But then he submits himself to the League of Villains to become more powerful, basically. And he gets a variation of All for One's quirk. However, he can only hold 9, which is, befitting of his name. He can only hold 9 quirks total, which is interesting. So, yeah. And okay, can we stop for a moment? Can we stop for one goddamn moment? The Doctor, the League of Villains Doctor, who we've only heard. We've never seen him on screen. So I'm wondering if maybe he's going to show up later on, either in Season 5 or early in Season 6, so that's why they were like, oh, well, he'll show up around that time, so we'll show him here. That, I swear to Jesus, I swear, that is the Doctor from Episode 1, they always showed the exact same line. Sorry, kid, it's not gonna happen, Like, he was the one who told Deku, no, you're not going to have a quirk. Am I insane, or was that him? I swear to God, that was him. Oh my God, I'm more pissed at this than Slide and Go. If that is him, then that guy is the motherest of fucks right there. Oh my God, I feel betrayed. And this is a guy who barely had a cameo in Episode 1. But if that's the same, maybe it's a twin or something. Maybe we should give that Doctor the benefit of the doubt that that's not him. But it looks a hell of a lot like him. It looks like him. It sounds like him. I bet it's him. Fuck! Oh my God, I'm legitimate. I am betrayed. See, I don't see how that'll be like a plot twist. Like, if Deku ever meets him, like, wait a second, you were my doctor when I was a kid. And he's like, ah, yes. And it's like, okay. I mean, it's not like it's not like this was some plan, like, oh, All for One knew that Deku would be the successor, so he had... No, it's none of that. And I know there's a fan theory. And it's a shitty fan theory. But I know there's a fan theory that All for One is actually Midoriya's father. Which is complete and utter bullshit. I don't see how the fuck that would work. Like, how would All for One find Inko Midoriya and know we're gonna have a kid, and that kid is gonna be All Might's successor? I don't know what the fuck that would do for him. He's still in Tartarus, so, like, Tomura makes sense. After being defeated by All Might, the first time he's ever been defeated by a user of One for All, he's so pissed, and he goes and finds Shimura's grandson and is like, oh, I have an idea, you know? Like, he comes up with this whole thing, and that makes sense. But the thing is, when that happened, Tenko Shimura was already born. That theory that he's Midoriya's father makes no goddamn sense, but it can't be that, you know? And plus, the doctor was right anyway. Because he said, you don't have a quirk. And Midoriya didn't have a quirk, so that's that. So there's nothing nefarious about that. There's nothing like, oh, he was nefariously spying on Deku at a young age. Like, for what? He still gave him a correct diagnosis, so that's such a weird twist. If that really is him, if that's the doctor who told Deku he was quirkless, that is a weird goddamn twist, you know? But yeah. But anyway, and presumably he's been making Nomus. I mean, presumably it's the doctor, as the doctor splices DNA together and All For One passes quirks into the Nomus. But apparently he's been experimenting with passing on All For One's quirk or copying it to someone else. And he copied it to 9. I mean, maybe he's running experiments on that to give a copy to Shigaraki. It would make sense. That would make sense. And shit, what if he's done it? Maybe not. See, because I'm thinking back to the Deka City incident, where it's like, oh, a riot of 20 people destroyed the entire city, but all they ever showed was Shigaraki. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much of that. But if that is that doctor, fuck him. Let's talk about the kids. So Maharo, that was the older sister, right? And then Katsuma was the boy. Okay. For some, about halfway through, I think I got those mixed around. But okay, so we got Katsuma and Maharo. Who, I mean, damn, Deku might as well be hero of kids, because between Kota, Eri, and now Katsuma and Maharo, like, that's a lot of kids he's been saving, you know? He's like Gamera, friend to all children, you know? Uh-oh, I'm out of drink, and I don't have anything else in here. Oh well. But I did like them. I did like that, and I like... Because at first I thought they were going the Kota route with Maharo, where... which, let me confirm real quick that is their names, so... Okay, so it was about right here.
Hey there, is your name Katsuma Shimano?
Okay, yeah, so the boy is Katsuma, and the girl is Maharo. So, I thought they were going the Kota route with Maharo, where it's like, oh, she hates heroes and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, we've heard that before. But I like the distinction that it's not that she hates heroes, it's that she's worried about her brother. I really like that. That's a good one, where, you know, she would rather he be like their dad, which is interesting, rather than a hero, because being a hero is dangerous, you know? So yeah. So that was really interesting. I did like that. A good distinction between them. And then, I guess, next up is our villains. So first off, we have Mummy, sort of a bootleg Best Jeanist. I'd love to see Best Jeanist versus Mummy. Although, Mummy went down the easiest, you know? Mummy actually went down the easiest, which is interesting. So yeah, but I liked his quirk that he had these... I mean, he's kind of like Ragman from Arrow and DC Comics, where he can control his rags and stuff, and then he can basically wrap an object and, then it bends to his will, which was very interesting. So I like that. And then, basically wrapping Bakugo was very clever. Of course, then Bakugo fights back, and these are rags. So, yeah, fire is going to be effective against that. So that was interesting. We had Slice, again, just like Yukiko on JoJo, just full control of her hair. Although she used it more for cutting than anything else. Although she was, like, kind of whipping her way around at one point. So yeah, that very interesting quirk. These guys kind of remind me of, now that I think about it, these guys kind of remind me of Season 3 of The Legend of Korra, the Red Lotus team. Like, it's just a group of 4, and they all, like, get split up, and different, people have to fight them and stuff, leading to, honestly, kind of leading to the same thing to an extent, although 9 is a lot more powerful than Zahir was. But just that fight between Korra and Zahir kind of reminds me of Deku and Bakugo versus 9. Because honestly, yeah, like, them going full one for all definitely reminds me of Korra in the Avatar state. So that was very interesting. The most interesting one, Chimera, who, honestly, yeah, he definitely is like Amajiki, where, yeah, he has multiple things. But man, just the fact that he has that kind of raw power and stuff, and, he can breathe fire and all that stuff, is very, very interesting, Didn't they say that Midoriya's dad had that quirk, breathe fire? Midoriya's real dad, not All for One. I don't know if there's. Let me know in the comments if that's a theory you believe in. If you have that theory that All for One is Midoriya's father. I've also seen a theory that and I don't look into these theories, by the way. I don't really read. I just see there's a theory that All for One is Midoriya's dad, and that's all I see. But I saw another theory that Nana Shimura was actually the mother of Inko Midoriya, thereby making Shimura Midoriya's grandmother. Which is, I mean, it's a little easier to say. That's a little easier to believe. It's still got a lot of holes in it, but it's very interesting. It's still like a random, coincidence, basically, that All Might found his predecessor's grandson to pass on One for All to. But still, I kind of get behind that one. Maybe. Although, that does bring up the other question, why didn't Gran Torino mention Inko then? Because all he mentioned back then was that Shimura only had one child. And yeah, he was like, oh yeah, she put the one child into foster care. So that was the thing, So presumably if she had more than one kid, he probably would have known that. Well, I don't know. Anywho. Chimera. What the fuck were we talking about? Chimera. Yeah, okay. So his power is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, now the whole thing with his backstory, I get they're all villains. His backstory is oh, they label you as a monster. And it's well, is he a dick? Because there's a lot of freaky-looking people in this society. I mean, not to be rude, but there's some freaky-looking people in Class 1A alone. Then you get all sorts of, animal-looking people or anything, and it's so this guy, I don't think would be he would be outcast as he looks like a monster. It's a lot of people have quirks that make them look like animals, what some could describe as monsters, I suppose. So if this guy was just being a dick about it, then fuck you. If you're being a villain, then you're being a villain, So I don't know. But the fact that he was matching Ojiro, Shoji, I think he even fought Sato, and then Ida and Todoroki was very, very interesting. And then we had our main boy, 9, Again, as I said, voiced by Johnny Yuen Bosch. Good job. He definitely didn't sound like... You know, there's a lot of times I can hear Johnny Yuen Bosch, and he sounds exactly like Johnny Yuen Bosch. Like every performer, like, you listen to Jonathan Joestar, Artemis, and Albert de Morcerf, you hear the same voice throughout all three of them, you know? But this one was a lot different. I really did like that. And his design was really, really cool, you know? So, yeah. We had the first fight, which was good. A good showing for Bakugo, you know? Like, I feel like we had a little bit in the last movie with Bakugo, but honestly, Bakugo gets to shine here. It's crazy. So yeah, that first fight was really, really good. And Nine tries to steal One for All, which is very interesting. You know, it's like, because all he sees is, oh, this quirk is, you know, really strong. Like, oh, I could use that, you know? It's a quirk worth stealing. But he can't, because with one quirk comes the rest of them. So I'm presuming that, you know, they didn't include Black Whip at all in this, despite the fact that this should be around the time that Black Whip would be used. The most they had was Air Force for Midoriya's latest move, so no Black Whip in this. And they really loved using that St. Louis smash. Like, that was really good. Because, yeah, he only ever used it against Gentle once. But, yeah, that whole thing. So they didn't include Black Whip. So, presumably, the reason he can't steal One for All is that it would basically give him all of those quirks, and he can't hold all of them. So, I mean, if he had One for All, plus the other 6, that's seven quirks that he would gain. And I guess with One for All, it's an all or nothing kind of thing. So you can't just steal One for All without the other quirks. You have to steal the whole thing. So he just couldn't do it, which was interesting. So yeah, and that first fight was really, really cool. And the whole thing was cell activation. So, okay, so presumably, you know, they said that the dad, he can only work on type A blood, which is interesting, for cell activation. And Nine said, it won't work on my type B blood, which is interesting. But he's really just presuming, though, that Katsuma has type B control, you know? I guess they're also saying that Midoriya and Bakugo have the same blood type, unless Katsuma doesn't have the limit, which is entirely possible. It's entirely possible that Katsuma just doesn't have that limit, you know? Which is why it would be better to take his rather than his father's. I don't know. I'm not sure the specifics, but it would have worked out better, because all Nine wanted to... He only wanted to activate the cells in his own body, and for that, he needed control over type B blood. So that was interesting. And that cell activation would basically keep his body healed. It would basically, as his body would break, it would, like Eri, would repair itself in no time. So yeah. So that was interesting. And then we had the siege, which was pretty cool. Doing the siege and keeping it at the ruined castle, that definitely did wonders for damage and everything, you know, so that was good. But yeah, so let's see. I took down a bunch of notes so we could go over specific things within the actual final battle, which, I mean, that was a long-ass final battle, wasn't it? That was like the last third of the movie was this siege, which was crazy. Yeah, it was about 45 minutes or so. So that was really good. So yeah, let's see. So first off, Aoyama, that was so amazing when he did that. The plus ultra, what was it? Can't stop twinkling supernova. I also love too, he said allons-y. Oh! plus Ultra. That's the strongest Aoyama has ever been. Like, and you know what? I'm proud of him. And this, you remember, he's still in his first year. Imagine how strong he's going to be especially when he gets over, maybe not gets over, but he works more with his tummy issues, you know? Because that was the thing, you know, he was knocked out from that first fight because of his stomach issues. So imagine him still going. Like, if he can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, that's going to be amazing. We had Yaoyorozu blasting them underground, which was really good. And then we had Ashido and Tokoyami versus Slice, which was really good. And yeah, just that whole thing, just that fight, it was a pretty even fight. But then yeah, once Ashido gets hurt, then it's just like at the training camp, and he just goes full, like, oh, that mode needs a name, like full rage mode or something like that. So that was good. We had round 2 with the gang against Chimera, which was really cool. I liked using the toxic mucus basically from Sue. That was a really good idea. And then Todoroki, very brilliant idea to use the same principles that he uses for Flash Fire Fist, but using it on his ice. That was very, very clever. So instead of, you know, pushing his fire to its hottest temperature, he cooled his ice to its absolute lowest. I mean, absolute zero. Flash Freeze Fist, which it wasn't called that, but it should have been. Flash Freeze Fist. That's just amazing. And yeah, just completely froze him inside and out. I mean, he might be dead. Well, no, they walked him away at the end, so he's probably all right. But yeah, so I like on the Amazon, because I'm watching this on Amazon Prime Video. When you're scrolling through and you get the little thumbnail of thumbnail preview image when you're scrolling along the timeline. I love one of the images is Shigaraki's hand on Nine's face, and then literally the next one is the two of them out, but it's the exact same shot. Maybe because I'm still recording this, maybe I'll leave that in because it's just kind of funny to see. So anyway, but yeah, freezing him completely. That was very, very clever. Then they also did the avalanche. I love too that in this movie, like, not only is it all of Class 1A, but man, did they never give up. Like, I love that even when you think, like, okay, now it's Deku and Bakugo, like, they still, like, Uraraka and Sero still came out to help, you know? Even if they couldn't do much, I really do love that, just the persistence of all of Class 1A. Even towards the end, when Shoji went and shielded Katsuma and Mahiro, you know, that was really, really good, so I like that. Let's see. So Nine's motivation to create a stronger society, you know, he wants a society built on the strong and strength and stuff, and he would be at the top being the strongest. A pretty standard motivation, I would say. I guess it is sort of different from the others that we've had, but yeah, and it's interesting too, you know, at the end there with Shigaraki, where it's like, oh, you know, I will rule a world of strength, and Shigaraki's like, well, you won't, but I will. You know, it's like, I am curious, you know, what we haven't really had for a while, you know, what is the world Shigaraki wants to create? You know, he's been chipping away at Hero Society, but what is the world he wants to create? You know, I want more motivation, like, more plan, more motivation from him. And I just want more of him, you know? Like, honestly, I feel like this is the first time we've really seen him. I mean, he had the brief cameo at the Deka incident, but I feel like this is the first time we've really seen him since the Shie Hisaikai. So yeah. And then, yeah, two of them. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Oh, man. So, yeah, that was very, very good. He passed on One for All. Kind of? Okay, so it didn't. It didn't actually pass on to Bakugo. Somehow, some way, and there's not a full explanation of this, because they basically, because their hands were so broken and bleeding, they merged. The way they passed it on was just, basically putting Midoriya's blood into Bakugo's wound. And that's a very interesting way of passing it on. It's better than the hair, definitely. But then he immediately has that power. Just immediately has it, which is crazy. But that's the thing, is that, when Midoriya first got it, he eats the hair, and then All Might's like, well, now we just need that to, digest, basically, run through your body. It's like, you should gain the power in a couple hours, and then, yes, a few hours later he had it for the entrance exam. Bakugo, it's immediate. It is immediate that he has that power, which is incredible. So, I'm willing to bet that it was something special that happened. Because it wasn't a true transference of power, It was some crazy, temporary pass on. It basically, One For All copied itself into Bakugo, but only temporarily. It only did that temporarily to boost him with One For All. But the original quirk remained within Deku. I guess. I don't think we're going to get an official explanation about this, considering that this is a movie, and considering that Bakugo apparently doesn't remember any of this, which I feel like is a bit of a cop-out. Bakugo, for some reason, he doesn't remember passing on One For All, and it's like, oh, come on. But I imagine that's just hey, we're not going to reference this in the show. So, that's the thing. As big as this movie was, it is a movie. And anime movies primarily are self-contained, They don't really have too much lasting impact on a series. That is sort of the thing with anime movies. So I don't know if we'll get an official explanation of how this transference worked, But it was awesome. It was fucking awesome! Man, hearing him... I imagine... Well, hang on. What is the actor's name? Is it going to be on here? Let me see. I can never remember his name. Dang it, hang on. I want to find his name. God damn it. It's not in this specific cast list. I mean, I think it's Clifford Chaplin. It's either Chapin or Chaplin, and I can't remember which one it is. And god damn it, he's not in the Amazon cast list. Amazon cast lists on anime are a bit rough because they include both the English and Japanese casts. So, but I think that's his name is Clifford Chaplin, maybe? Or it's either Chaplin or Chaplin. I don't remember which one. I guess I can go to the actual credits themselves. Let me see. Clifford Chapin. Okay, not Chaplin. Chapin. Okay. First off, he's amazing. Let's just start there. That he is amazing. I wonder how excited he was when they told him, hey, you get to do a Detroit Smash. Now, that was the only Smash I think he did. Everything else was his normal screaming or screaming die. But yeah. You know what I just noticed? So, on the cast it says Izuku, Katsuki, then Todoroki, Tenya, Ochako, Kirishima, Tokoyami, Mineta, Yaoyorozu, Kaminari, Jiro. Like, it goes through all of them, but it's like, how come Izuku, Katsuki, Tenya, and Ochako are all first names, but everyone else is last names? That's strange. Keep your consistency, people. But anyway, can you imagine how excited he must have been to hear you get to do a Detroit Smash? Like, let me hear it. I gotta hear it. And he looks amazing when he goes 100. You know, just this red variant. Just their eyes are crazy. He's got red and orange lightning.
Why won't you weaklings die already?
And this is a good idea. Props on them. Yeah, they could have just done regular epic music, but I love that they went with that song.
This is the end of your dream, Deku. You're gonna be quirkless again.
I love how caring he is. This is it for you, Deku.
I'm sure that All Might would agree, since you were the one I gave it to. You knew about our secret and kept it to yourself.
Even when things seem impossible,
Always wins!
no matter what trouble is in his way, he always...
Saves everyone with a smile! Shit. You'll never...
I love that moment too, where Nai's just like, shit! Like, he knows, like, shit's about to happen. Oh, and I mean, that's essentially a 200% Detroit Smash. That is fucking crazy. And just that whole final battle. I mean, goodness me. I mean, with season 5, we were like, oh man, the animation budget's kicking up, you know? Like, it's just been fabulous throughout season 5. And to see that they did this too, it's like, I'm so surprised they didn't wipe out their budget on this. Like, look at how good this shit is. God, everyone's fucking shirtless and they're jacked. It's fucking crazy. Oh, Bakugo using One for All at 100% plus his explosions. Fucking nuts, man. Ugh! And Midoriya, too. Just encapsulated in blue. He kind of did his own little howitzer, didn't he? Like, he spun around and launched a tornado. And see, it's a good thing they were on this, you know, ruined castle part of the island, because this place is getting fucked up.
One. It's over now. This is my final smash!
The final smash. And a 100% explosion. Jesus. That's fucking crazy. And that didn't even kill him. Shigaraki killed him, which was fucking crazy too. Oh man, and I love that moment where just that power comes back to him. Somehow that power was still there. It just needed to take a breather.
Transfer finished. No, that's not it. For risking your life to protect, and risking your life to prevail, One for all did something
Oh,
miraculous.
I love seeing that beautiful girl. Seeing Shimura and the rest of them.
And all those who came before. Thank you so much. I'm forever grateful.
Somehow. I don't know how the fuck they did that, but they did. And then everyone's fine. I love Shigaraki's new jacket. It's just a red coat, like it's nice.
Did you have a good life?
And Shigaraki here like the angel of death.
Fighting. Don't worry. I'll take over your dream from here.
There can only be one true ruler.
Yes. Only one.
Only one.
Good night, Nine.
Man, he did that.
Excellent work.
Did he do that through his glove? Or is he only using these two? I don't know. Maybe they'll explain that. I mean, we haven't seen him in a while. Maybe they'll explain that later in the season. But that was pretty cool. But yeah. Shigaraki does not accept anyone else. It's just him. So. And then they left. Cleaned up as best they could, but then they were back to UA. That was a good moment. And I like Bakugo even being like, "Hey, you better work hard, you little brat." Oh man. What a movie, man. What a movie. Is it better than the first? That's the big question, I suppose. The first one was really, really good. I think this one... Okay. Two things that this movie has over the first one. All of Class 1A is involved, and the villain is far better. I think 9 was a much better villain than Wolfram was. Wolfram, he was really just sort of there. He just sort of needed to be the villain. The main thing with that movie was the plot with David and Melissa's shield. So I think 9 was a much better villain, and having all of Class 1A I think was really, really good. But yeah. But that's basically it. Thank you all for joining me on this bonus reaction here on Saturday, watching My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. Tune in next Thursday. We're back again. We'll be back still on our regular schedule as we watch the next episode of My Hero Academia. If you're just tuning in for whatever reason. Last time around, again, I finished up the Hellish Todoroki family, so we'll be moving on to episode 18 of season 5 after that. And stick around, because as soon as the English dub of World Heroes Mission is available for streaming, I will be reacting to that as well. So yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist. There also is another video you can go click on, probably a movie reactions playlist, I would bet. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.